It's okay to not have it all together. Nobody walks out of their mother's womb and just knows exactly what they want out of life. Nobody just, gains consciousness. They're able to talk, they're able to walk, and then all of a sudden they know their purpose. They know exactly what's going to make them the money. They know exactly what's going to be successful in their life. I know that it could seem that way. I know it could seem that way based on social media. I know it could seem that way based on many outlets or stories, autobiographies, whatever, that there are people who just seemingly just kind of just know what to do. It almost seems like they were just destined to do great things. It just worked out for them. They just woke up and figured it out. But I don't think that that's really how it went down. And I feel like you shouldn't put that pressure on yourself either. Like, I feel like it's a falsehood, I feel like we set these unrealistic expectations on ourselves based on the fact that we see their results. We see everything that they have now. We see the fame, the fortune, the glitz, the glamour, the gold, the glory, the girls, the whatever. We see it all right now, and we just think like, why aren't I a multimillionaire at 22? Why don't I have this crazy fancy car? Why don't I have this success? Why don't I have this fortune? Why don't I have the notoriety? And I feel like it's like we're not really taking the time to understand it. All of this is inflated. All of this is just exposure to someone else's life in a way that we never would have had exposure to before in any natural means, Through cell phones, through social media, we have a highlight reel of someone's life. We have the life that they want to portray to you, and that life could be completely fake. It could be completely phony. And even if it's not phony, you still don't know the ins and outs, what happened really behind the scenes to make something actually pop. You don't know the struggles they went through. You don't know, whether or not this was a long time in the making, that they tried and failed and they had so many errors time and time again before something actually popped off. You don't really know. So I'm really saying that to say, it's okay to not have your life figured out right now. It's okay to not know exactly what you want to do. It's okay to really just be confused and really thinking I just don't have it all together. I'm in a rough point. I'm at a sticking point. I'm in between a rock and a hard place, and I just don't know what to do right now. I feel stuck. I feel as if I'm behind. I feel as if maybe it's too late for me or whatever. It's just not. It's not too late. And it's okay that you don't have it figured out right now. It's okay that you don't really know what to do. That's a part of life. The journey is the destination. You know what I'm saying? Life is a journey. You know what I'm saying? Life is a journey, and the journey is the destination. You're supposed to figure it out along the way. Along the way, you are supposed to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. You're going to make mistakes, and that's perfectly natural. That is just a part of life. You are going to make mistakes. I'm telling you that right now. Get it through your head that mistakes are just a part of the journey. It's okay to make them. Now, don't make the same ones over and over again. Don't be stupid. But it's okay to make mistakes. We all do. That's how we learn. That's how we get better. That's how we evolve. That's how we grow. But it's just a part of the human condition to make mistakes. So don't fret over them for too long. Don't dwell on them. Don't let them eat up at you. Just make your mistake and move on. And understand that as you grow up, as you age, as you mature, basically, you're going to come with new problems. You're going to have new mistakes that you're going to make. You're going to have new errors that you're figuring out and that you're working through. You're always going to be getting into your groove. You're always going to find a new groove. You're always going to find a new position to be in. It's never constant. The only constant is change. You know what I mean? The only constant is change. So just recognize that life is going to change. Time is always going to be throwing you a new curveball, and you're going to have to work through it. So don't ever think that there's this illusion of completion, this illusion that there's going to be a point in time that you're never going to have problems, that things are just always going to be smooth and things are always going to just be exactly what you want it to be. That's not real. That's not real. I'm not saying it has to be the worst moment in time in the world for you or that it has to be horrible. I'm just saying that you are always going to have problems. Don't ever think that you're going to be able to ditch them forever. That's just not how life works. But we're going to work through them, day by day, step by step. You know what I mean? Before you learned to walk, you had to crawl. And as you were crawling and learning to walk, you fell. You fell a bunch of times, you know what I mean? You fell a bunch of times in order to learn how to walk. And then as you were walking, you were still stumbling and still, falling from time to time. Eventually you learn how to run. And as you run, sometimes you hurt yourself. You still fall. And even, when you're older, when you're actually an adult, you're still just going to fall sometimes. That's just what's going to happen. It's okay. It's okay to not have it all figured out. It's okay to be figuring out. You had to figure out how to walk. So figuratively, figure out how to walk in your life. One thing I know for sure is that if you do not pursue purpose and passion in your life, that you're going to pursue pleasure by default. Life is inherently suffering, right? Life is inherently going to make you suffer in one way or another. That's just how things work. But when you're choosing your purpose, right, you are choosing something that you're going to suffer for on purpose. Perhaps that's why they call it purpose. And a passion, your passion is something that you do to help alleviate the suffering that happens while you're on your purpose. And sometimes they're not the same thing. Sometimes your passion is not your purpose. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you could be very passionate about something, but it is not your purpose in life. It's not why you were brought here on this planet. You know what I mean? And sometimes the thing that you're passionate about is not purposeful. And that's okay. That's completely natural. That's completely normal. Everybody's got to figure it out how it works for them, but realistically, you will always chase pleasure if you don't chase purpose and you don't, pursue passion. You know what I mean? Pleasure is not your passion either. Pleasure is just pleasure. Pleasure is just to alleviate suffering, nothing further, nothing more. Pleasure is just you going, how do I, not feel so bad about the curveballs of life? What can I do? Am I drinking? Am I smoking? Am I, am I kissing strangers in a bar? Like, what is it? Like, you're going to do something to try to alleviate the suffering of life, because life is suffering. But it's hollow. It's hollow. It ends up hurting you in the long run to just pursue pleasure. So that's why I'm telling you, pursue your passion, pursue your purpose. Figure out what both of those are. And sometimes it's going to take you some time to figure out what that might be for you. Sometimes that means that you just got to fiddle around and you just got to stumble around and keep on trying stuff and putting in work until your passion finds you or your purpose finds you. Sometimes your purpose is bestowed upon you. Sometimes your purpose will find you because you're out there just putting in work. So maybe you just need to start putting in work. You know what I mean? But pursue something. Pursue something of value. Pursue something of value. Pursue something that you feel is worthy of you suffering for. Because life is suffering anyway. You're going to suffer one way or another. So at least make it be something that's going to make you feel fulfilled. At least let it be something that's going to make you feel as if it mattered. It was worth something. It was worth my time. It was worth my effort. But along that journey, you're going to take some L's. You know what I mean? You're going to learn some lessons. You're going to lose. You're going to make mistakes. You know what I mean? But that's all just a part of it. That's all a part of the journey. You just have to go through that. You got to play through the pain. You got to just figure it out as you go along. Beware of unearned wisdom. Beware of unearned wisdom. What does that mean? That means stop taking so much advice from other people before you live life yourself. Like I said before, you got to throw spaghetti to the wall and see what sticks. You don't know what works for you until you try what works for you. You could take all the advice of some other person, some elder, a peer, some online guru, telling you the answers, telling you if you do this, this is the result that you're going to get. But you don't know until you try. Life is trial and error. You know what I mean? You figure it out. Walk your path, walk your walk, and figure out what works for you. Throughout life, as you mature, you're going to be gifted with 3 types of sight that are going to help you navigate through your trials and errors of life. And that is hindsight, insight, and foresight, right? You're going to get gifted with all 3 of those to help you navigate through life, because they're developed through making mistakes. They're developed through not knowing what to do and doing the wrong thing and then learning from it. You're going to develop hindsight. Hindsight is literally taking and analyzing your mistakes and being able to say, you know what? Based on what happened before, I will not do this again. You're going to have foresight. Foresight is being able to be like, based on the evidence of so many things that I've been able to be through, this seems kind of similar, so I'm not even going to put myself through that. You know what I mean? Hindsight is 20/20, and then foresight 40/40, whatever that might mean. I'm just saying words now, but you know what I mean? It's like foresight is really just being able to look ahead. You're looking ahead and being able to be like, I don't know about all that. Insight is following your gut. Insight is internal, you know what I mean? It's insightful. It's on the inside. Internally, you're going to be able to feel in your gut, be like, yeah, I don't know about that. This doesn't feel right, so I will not pursue this. I will not do this. You know, these 3 sights are given to you. You are developing them every single time that you make a mistake. Every single time that you learn something new, you learn a lesson, you take an L. It's valuable. It is so much more valuable for you to learn your lessons, for you to earn your wisdom through trial and error, for you to walk through the fire and get burned. You know what I mean? For you to touch the stove and get burned. It's the only way that it really sticks. It's the only way that you really understand why something is the reason why it didn't work out. Because you go through it yourself. You know what I mean? If you're only listening to online gurus, if you're only listening to your elders, to your peers, to your brother, your sister, whoever, right? And you don't go out there and trial by fire yourself, you don't know what it's like to get burned. You don't know what it's like to get skin in the game. You don't know what it's like. So you can't actually really be able to say whether something works or doesn't work for you. Because that's the key. The key is we don't know what works for you. You know what I mean? I know what works for me, or at least I'm still figuring out what works for me. But like, I can't tell you based on my experiences what's going to work for you. You know, you got to do it yourself. You got to put yourself out there. You're going to have to fall a couple times. I can't walk for you. I can't crawl for you. You know what I mean? That's basically what we're doing when we're trying to get unearned wisdom. We want somebody else to go and walk for us. We want someone else to crawl for us and fall a couple times and then tell us, you know, what works. How do you walk? The only way you're going to learn how to walk is to fall a couple times. So fall a couple times and get back up. Then you'll be walking. That's all I'm saying. But also, as I said earlier, beware of the illusion of completion. You know, don't ever think that at any moment that you're not going to be pursuing something. You're always going to be pursuing something. You're always going to be looking for something. We all are always having some sort of desire that we want to fulfill at every point in our life. You know, every chapter that you complete, you're trying to write a new one. Everything that you actually ever, you know, accomplish in life, it's a wonderful feeling for X amount of time, but you're going to come up with a new thing that you're going to chase, a new thing you're going to pursue. That's just a part of life. It's the hedonic treadmill, you know. Every accomplishment, you're just going to search for the next thing. And that's why I'm telling you, the journey is the destination. The destination is to enjoy the ride. You know, life is one big roller coaster, and you just got to enjoy the ride. It's going to be loop-de-loops. It's going to be, you know, points where you're coasting. It's going to be points where it goes down. It's going to be points where it goes all the way up and it feels steep and you don't really know what's going to happen. You get that pit in the stomach and you just don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to drop? Is it going to be painful? Do I need to close my eyes? You know, you don't know. But enjoy the ride. The journey is the destination. And beware that illusion of completion. You know what I mean? It's like the fun is not making the wish. The fun is in going on the journey to find the Dragon Balls, if you know what I'm saying. You know, it's like the journey is what's fun. Meeting all these kooky characters along the way, all the bumps in the road. You know what I mean? The becoming a Pokemon master is not really the fun part as much as it is just going around to all the different regions and catching new Pokemon, meeting new people, learning new lessons. You know, I'm just, it's really just a part of the journey. The journey is the fun. The journey is the destination. You got to look at your life that way. You got to look at existing that way. I just want you to enjoy your experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a spiritual being, a spiritual entity that is having a fleshly human experience. Experience it. Experience it for all that it's worth. Like, really make sure that you're, you know, taking inventory on what life is. You got to try stuff out, and you're not going to like everything. Every day is not going to be the best day. You're not going to always have a good time. You're not always going to make the right decision, you know. Sometimes you're going to choose wrong. But, like, that's part of it. You know, that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is, like, because you are going to choose wrong, when you do choose right, it's wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. I just want you to understand that, like, you know, with every chapter that is progressing, you're always going to have this little thoughts in the back of your head of the previous chapter or other previous chapters, and you're going to miss it a little bit You know, even though, like I said, life is inherently suffering, and in every chapter it comes with its own version of suffering, you're going to miss it a little bit. There's always going to be some nugget, some jewels, some good times that you're going to think of, and you're going to be like, wow, that was a great time for that time, but that time is over. That time is done. You can't go backwards. You can't step backwards. Time never goes back. It goes forward. So, like, accept the fact that you're in this moment in time that you're having right now, you know, and experience it and go through the mistakes and the trials and errors that come with this moment in time. Because your whole goal is to learn from it, right? I'm hoping that you're not making the same mistakes right now at whatever age you are right now that you were making previously. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 32 right now. I'm not gonna make the same dumbass mistakes that I was making when I was 22. And when I was 22, I'm not gonna make the same mistakes that I was making when I was 16. You know what I mean? And as of right now, it's like, one day I'm gonna be 50. When I'm 50, I'm not gonna be making the same dumbass mistakes I'm making right now, because I'm making mistakes. Of course I am. Of course I am. I don't have it all together. You know, I have it more together than I've had it before, but that's based on the fact that I've achieved some sort of growth through trial and error, you know, through throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. I know a couple strands that stick now, but I'm still figuring it all together. You know, I still got to figure out my recipe. I'm still learning. I'm still growing the same way that you are. We're never going to stop growing. We're never going to stop learning. You know what I mean? When I'm 90, I won't make the same mistakes that I made at 75. It's just a part of life. But I got to enjoy the ride. I got to enjoy the experience. I got to have the experience. It's just a part of the journey. And the journey is the destination. You know what I'm saying? The journey is what you're trying to get to. Because every time you accomplish a goal, you're going to go on another journey to accomplish another goal. You're going to go on another journey to try to find the Dragon Balls again so you can make another wish. You make another wish. You caught all the Pokemon in this one region. Now you got to go to the next region. There's still more Pokemon to catch. So go catch them. You know what I mean? You got to catch them all. But that's the whole point, is like, you got to catch them all. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is like the idea of going to continue catching them. If you actually caught them all, you would have no purpose. You would have nothing to put your passion towards. You got to keep on catching them. So beware the illusion of completion. It's like, just don't think that at any point you're ever going to stop. It doesn't work like that. And the only constant is change. That's the only thing that ever actually stays constant, is the fact that things change. Things are always going to be moving and shaking. Things are always going to be adjusting. You know, no man ever sets foot in the same river twice. It's no longer the same river, and he is no longer the same man. You're always going to be moving. You're always going to be growing and changing and evolving. That's just how things go. And along that time, you're going to make mistakes. Along that time, you're going to be figuring it out. And sometimes it's going to seem like you have it more figured out than other times. Like right now, I feel like I'm in a pretty decent groove. I feel like I'm doing pretty well for myself at this moment. It ain't all together, but it's, you know, it's way better than other times. But it's been ups and downs along the way. You know what I mean? It was not a completely smooth, bumpless ride. Oh, it was some bumps. It was some bumps, brother. It was some bumps, sis. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't smooth all the way around. There was definitely some times that it just took a dip. But that's okay. That's okay. It's just a part of the game. You know how they say, don't hate the player, hate the game? Don't hate the game either. The game is the game. You're playing it, right? You're in it. Play it to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate the game. You are in the game, so play it, baby. Have that experience. You know, I understand that we're dealt the cards that we are dealt when we're born, right? And sometimes it seems like that hand is a sucky hand. Sometimes it seems like it's just bad. But at the end of the day, in the game of life, you're gonna keep on drawing cards. You know, for the game to continue on, you got to keep on drawing cards. It's what you do with the cards that are drawn that matters, right? Because you're going to get a better hand over time. Eventually, you're going to get a better hand. Even if it seems like you keep on drawing bad cards, you are eventually going to get a decent hand that you could do something with, that you could play some moves with. That's the game of life. You know what I mean? Think about the cards that you're drawing, and eventually you'll use up those cards that are in your hand. It's part of the game. But don't hate the game. You're in the game. You're playing it, whether you want to play it or not. So play it to the best of your ability. Experience your experience of life. Go through it. It's cool. It's chill. But hey, that's all I really wanted to say to you today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope that you love this beautiful scenery. Like, I'm so glad I was able to catch this. Like, I don't know when's the next time I'm going to be able to catch this, because I typically wake up way too late, right? Like, way too late. Like, the sun will already be up and I'll miss all the beautiful clouds and stuff. So, like, I'm just glad I caught this for y'all. And I had this talk with y'all today. I'm on my way to go get a haircut. Like, I'm literally about to, like, leave this recording and go get a haircut. I get a haircut every 2 weeks. That's just my ritual. That's what I like to do. It's my favorite self-care thing, that it makes me just feel my best. It makes me feel at my peak. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to act once I get that haircut. So I know if you're a person who goes and gets their haircut like I do, you probably feel the same way. But I'm definitely on my way to go get mine. I just had to come through and make sure I caught the sunset too. Let me get my big head out the way. It's beautiful, man. That is beautiful. Look at that. Like, yo, check out that skyline, bro. That's beautiful. Look at that plane up there. Coasting. Let's see if I can catch it. Hey, jet life. Jet life, you know what I'm saying? We got a couple ships out there right now, going to who knows where, doing who knows what. Look at the fog. You got all that fog over there, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing better than a fresh haircut, you know what I'm saying? That is when I am at my prime. That is my golden armor. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best you're gonna find me. I am never more confident than when I got my fresh haircut. And I know a lot of y'all can probably agree with that, especially, for all my black male viewers. I know you know. So yeah, just another reminder, man, like, don't put too much pressure on yourself for not having it all together. Like, you're gonna learn along the way. You're gonna pick up all the things that you need to pick up along the way. It's a journey. And every stage is just as vital and just as important as the last. You know what I mean? So just enjoy the journey. Enjoy this time. Enjoy the fact that you are on the journey, that you had the chance to have the opportunity to play the game of life. Some people's opportunity, it gets shut down early. It gets taken away from them, or there's a lot of circumstances. And I'm not trying to tell you to only appreciate your fortune by thinking of someone else's misfortune. I think that's the wrong way to really look at the lens. It's more so just saying, like, just enjoy life. Take it day by day. Do not take it too seriously. Do not think too hard about it. Yo, catching the sunset is such a quick, fleeting moment. Like, it's here and then it's not here, You only have just a couple minutes to really appreciate it. So that's why they're so valuable. They're so great. Like, I just love them. I love seeing them. I hope you love seeing it too. Like I said, I can't always catch it. Like, there's a lot of times in the day that I just can't catch it. I'm either still working or I just can't get out or whatever, and I just don't get the time to really appreciate it and tune in and see it. But every now and then you just got to stop and take that moment, right? You got to just stop and take that moment and just recognize life for all the beauty that it has. Wake up and smell the roses. Give yourself your own flowers while you're still here, You got to just experience life. Life is beautiful. Don't ever let the ugliness of the world taint your point of view of how much beauty there actually is. There's a lot of beauty out there. There's a lot. Sometimes you just got to take the time to observe it. Accept that it's there. You know what I'm saying? Accept that it's there. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I shared this moment with y'all. It's just nice, But yeah, in all seriousness, as usual, I just got to thank you if you tuned in, if you watched this long, if you enjoyed the ride of everything that I had to talk about. Like, as always, I really got to just tell you that I thank you and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, because realistically, you could be anywhere in the world. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I appreciate that. So much love, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right, peace.